What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Nuski. Welcome back to another episode of Newcastle United. Uh, Today we want to talk about Dan Ashworth, sacked by Manchester United, relieved of duty, or rather won't continue to be the sporting director of Manchester United. Dan Ashworth was the sporting director Manchester United acquired from Newcastle after some good work done there, but the news that came in yesterday morning stated that he was sacked and is no longer with Manchester United and is no longer assuming office as the sporting director for Manchester United. Apologies, I wasn't able to, of course, talk about this or do the video yesterday. The time the information was out, but I was held up a little bit. I was not in the house. I was held up doing some other things. But of course, the saying that goes better late than never. So we can get to talk about it still. Today we can get to catch up with you, and let's get to talk about Dan Ashworth. So if you're new, welcome. If you're returning as well, like normally we always say, thank you for the support and welcome. So Dan Ashworth is sacked by Manchester United. Let's go back a bit. Let's go previous a little bit, and let's try and take it back and to where Erik ten Hag, where it all started. 2023-2024 season, yeah. Manchester United, we finished in the 8th position, right? With a trophy, FA Cup, which was fairly the only thing that saved our season, and fair to say that the only thing that saved Erik ten Hag's job, because winning the FA Cup, which means now we were able to play in the Europa League this season. In fact, as you can see, that's why we're playing the Europa League. If at all you don't have any reason, because you're asking yourself, maybe we finished the season in the Premier League table in the position 8, but we're still in the Europa League. It was because of the FA Cup that we won. So we had a pretty bad season, full of injuries, all that in the 2023-2024 season. So everybody, I was just saying Erik ten Hag is not going to keep his job, or rather, yeah. But also on the other hand, we were looking at the couple of injuries he got. We were seeing 15 different centre backs, or pairs of centre backs. So yeah, in short, I'm trying to say Erik ten Hag's job was full of difficulties, was full of some things that if you look at the injuries, those are disadvantages that were denying him to get some good results. And it's a better argument, because when you don't have your fit players, it contributes a lot to the team's results, the team's performance at large. You can see at Man City, that's what it's going on currently. Pep Guardiola doesn't have the best of his players, but so what I'm trying to say is that you can see how impactful the best players can be in a team. So that's that. We finished the season in the position 8, but we struggled and reached the finals of the FA Cup and knocked out Man City and beat Man City 2-1 to win the trophy, which saved our season, but it was not a successful season. So then Erik ten Hag now has a trophy, he's happy. In fact, he was saying if Manchester United don't want to keep him, he'll just go in another club where he can win trophies. If Manchester United don't want to keep him. So then Ineos also assume office in Manchester United December 2023, I think. And the first task they have is to decide whether Erik ten Hag stays or leaves. Omar Berrada, the chief executive officer, the one, in fact, this information came after they had a meeting with Dan Ashworth, is when they decided that he is sacked and he is not going to continue as the sporting director of Manchester United. So they decide to have a committee. It was ongoing. I think it took quite some time to decide if Erik ten Hag stays on leave, and finally the verdict is Erik ten Hag stays, and in fact as his contract renewed. So the next move was to try and change the staff. This is when now Dan Ashworth comes in from Newcastle. After some good work done, he was one of the shortlisted sporting directors. Then he comes in. This just 5 months ago, by the way. So Dan Ashworth comes in and is the new sporting director for Manchester United. So then After that, everything is good. We have a new staff here. We are running games. The 2024-2025 season begins, and Manchester United registers a poor start. After 12 games, we had I think 1-3. We had a bad start in the Premier League, and in fact, it was our worst start season. I don't know how many years ago. So then the pressure, it's building up. We're looking at the manager, we're looking at the staff, we're looking at the players. So this poor start leads to Eric Ten Hag being sacked despite his contract being renewed. You know, so Eric Ten Hag is sacked, and then Ruud van Nistelrooy, of course, also joined Eric Ten Hag as an assistant manager before he was sacked. But then Eric Ten Hag is now sacked, and Ruud van Nistelrooy assumes office as the interim manager. So you can see the transition Manchester United has gone through this short period of time. Ruud van Nistelrooy is in charge. 4 games played, won 3. In fact, we went unbeaten, won 3 and lost, draw one with drawn one with Chelsea. Yeah. So then, but Manchester United, Ineos and Omar Berrada and the team, they don't want to put Ruud van Nistelrooy as interim manager up to the end of the season, like we would see in the past. But they decide to continue with the they decide to say that Ruud van Nistelrooy should just be in the interim manager as they look for another manager. And here is where Ruben Amorim comes in. So Ruben Amorim, from Sporting, he comes in the club, and he was in fact, he wanted to stay at Sporting till the end of the season, but Manchester United says that it's now or never. But so Ruben Amorim agrees to come to Manchester United, and is now the new Manchester United coach. And unfortunately, Ruud van Nistelrooy does not keep his job as assistant manager, but now he's the manager at Leicester, doing some good work. 4 points in 2 games. I'm happy for him. I wish him all the best. But Ruben Amorim is now in. So what sources have it that Dan Ashworth wasn't in favor of us appointing Ruben Amorim as the manager. He wanted a move for Gareth Southgate. Yeah. So he was not in favor for appointment of Ruben Amorim. So then, 5 months after, we are seeing Dan sacked, by Manchester United after poor starts in the season, poor performances. We have a new manager. He has played 5 games, or rather 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. So you see, it's not 3 wins. Sorry, if we leave alone the Bodo Glimt in the Europa League, but it's 2 wins. In fact, in the Premier League, it's 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss, and plus the win in the Europa League. So then the pressure is just getting intense. The pressure is just rising. So we see Dan Ashworth being sacked after just 5 months of assuming office. So Manchester United, we are currently number 13 in the Premier League. We are facing City next, which has its own problems. So potentially, look, I'm not saying we can't beat City at Etihad, but we have to be realistic. We are going to Etihad Stadium. City have their own problems. We have our own problems. If we lose that game, we're in the relegation battle. You know what I'm saying? So currently, our club is we are so vulnerable. We are in a dangerous position right now. Anything that can happen, you don't know of anything, or we can't know what can expect to happen. You know what I'm saying? Ineos, a lot of sackings going on. Eric Ten Hag, Dan Ashworth, who was, one of the best sporting directors in the list for Manchester United, and they went for him. I don't think even if his contract at Newcastle was over, but they went for him and they sacked him. And now they sacked him after 5 months after going for him. After meeting with Omar Berrada, is when now they decided that he is no longer the sporting director for Manchester United. He was responsible for some of the summer transfers, like in Lenny Yoro, Mazraoui, Zaxi, Ugarte, Delete, yeah, and of course, yeah, and football performances general. So that was some of his roles. Manchester United also confirmed that Dan was leaving the club by mutual agreement, and yeah, blah blah blah. Wish him all the best, and yeah. So this is where we are as a club, you know. Dan Ashworth sacked. Eric Ten Hag sacked. Ruud van Nistelrooy was the interim manager, couldn't keep his job, is now the manager at Leicester. Ruben Amorim is in. 3 games in the Premier League, one won, one drawn, and one lost. We're in the Europa League. We have Manchester City next. This is how our club currently is. I don't know what the next move is going to be, but Ineos, I don't know what is happening at Manchester United. What do you think? Let me know your views down below in the comments. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. We out.